Hey there, what's going on, fellas? How are you doing? Happy Monday morning to you. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully your weekend was good too. You got to enjoy that with family and friends, and obviously your sports betting was good as well. Obviously we've not been able to hang out too much recently because the family and I this past weekend we were in Wisconsin. And the great people of Wisconsin haven't legalized sports betting yet, so I didn't get any bets, and I'm certainly not going to tell you guys or suggest to you guys how you should go about spending your sports betting money if I can't put it down, obviously, myself. So we had a little bit of a pause, but we're ready to jump back in it today. Today's a nice little MLB slate, and again, hope you guys are coming off a nice weekend. Boy, did the new thing this past weekend in terms of staying at an Airbnb on a farm. Just had a really good time. Boy, it was a dairy farm there out in Monroe, Wisconsin. They had about 40 cows that they were actively milking twice a day. We even got to milk the cows ourselves, so that was pretty fun milking it, seeing our 3-year-old milk the cow. A little nervous, people have been asking me, did you drink the milk? Did you give it a try? It's like, I don't know if I can drink the milk that I just got done getting out of that cow. When like 2 minutes ago, I just saw it pooping shit damn near out of the same hole that the milk is coming out of. So that's a little too close in proximity for me to then go trying the milk when poop was falling out relatively near it. So no, we didn't try the milk, but boy, what a good time hanging out there on that farm. And really just enjoyed ourselves. So again, hopefully you guys had a good weekend as well. Let's go ahead and throw up that recap from last week. Remember, we only put in bets obviously Monday through Thursday, taking the rest of the 3 days off. And then, so we'll recap that. And then again, we'll jump on into it live today at 11 a.m. Eastern time on right here on the Payoff pitch. Small MLB slate, but damn if it isn't a good one. I think there's some nice opportunities to start off this week by helping you guys put money in your pocket. We certainly didn't do that last week. Last week was quite rough, actually. Obviously, Wednesday and Thursday were the two rough days, right? Wednesday, we lost 4.31 units. Thursday, we lost 4 units on two unit plays. So really just a disastrous week there with two days, being obviously just brutal, obviously right there. So yeah, on the week, 7-11 down 8.6 units. Now, obviously a little bit positive on the year, but God, man, winning over 100 units in 2021, winning over 100 units in 2022. God damn, if we're gonna get there, I guess the rest of this year is going to be one hell of a ride because we're nowhere near it, to be quite honest. So buckle up. Let's work hard and see if we can't do it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Arbitrage year to date, we didn't make any money last week on arbitrage. There was not any opportunities. I saw there was a couple opportunities while I was in Wisconsin, but obviously couldn't take advantage of those. So we still stay at $642 in year to date on arbitrage. Some of those wins from last week. Remember on Tuesday, we took a stab on several teams to go ahead and score in the first inning. We took 5 teams to score in the first inning. Then we took a full game there, and Blue Jays and Orioles. Blue Jays and Orioles came through, scoring the first inning. And then several teams, came through individually. Phenomenal hits, right? Plus 265 with the Pirates. You got a plus 220 with the Cardinals. Plus 195 with the Dodgers. Just really good hits, and really made our Tuesday, quite a nice little day. So like to see that right there. We also on Monday hit that Phillies F5 team total, which was really just a good cash for me personally because that was going up against Tommy Henry. There, the Diamondbacks where, the first time they saw him, they weren't having any success against left-handers. So we laid off of it, even though Tommy Henry struggles more times than not. Well, that wasn't the case this past Monday because when they saw him on Monday, they were smoking left-handed pitching. So that made it an easy bet. And, of course, this time when they're in a good hitting form, and that's why you track baseball in small sample sizes, this time they were hitting the ball really well versus left-handers, and you get an easy cash there in the second inning as they go over their F5 team total. Obviously, a lot of losses last week when you go down 8.6 units. Caprillion kicked it off there on Monday. He ended up being the winning pitcher against those Tampa Bay Rays. He obviously then went over 17.5 outs. He did good. Obviously, the A's in general are in a really nice form right now, so good for them, and certainly bad for us. Astros F5 team total. That was that heartbreaker where if Altuve just doesn't get picked off, there by Corbin, we would have gone ahead and getting that cash as Kyle Tucker smashed a home run. We needed it to be a 2-run home run. Just couldn't quite get that right there. Wednesday, we took a stab on a lot of team totals, whether they were a couple F3 unders or a couple F5 overs. Spencer Strider got rocked by the Detroit Tigers. Glasnow was just... even though the A's, were surging, it's only one inning, though, that they got to him, and it was in that second inning. So really unfortunate right there. The only win on Wednesday was that Giants F5 team total that came in the first inning. I really thought you were going to have a nice day when the Giants cashed in the first inning up against Jordan Montgomery, but It wasn't meant to be, as we end up then rifling off 5 straight losses. Kikuchi, those are the 2 plays on Thursday. Kikuchi, under 5.5 Ks. I think he ended the day with 7. And then Orioles F5 team total just couldn't quite get to Kikuchi. So really tough stuff right there. That was a phenomenal spot to go ahead and fade him up against a great hitting team in the Orioles. Talked about their history against Kikuchi. Just great spot. I just didn't quite go our way, unfortunately. So we'll look to go ahead and bounce back this week. And again, I think there is a nice little MLB slate. We've already rifled off some plays so far on Twitter. We're going to take Flaherty under 4.5 Ks. That's the Cardinals starting pitcher. We're also going to go ahead and do Paxton over 6.5 Ks. He's a member of the Red Sox. I do like the Red Sox today. In fact, I like them on that F5 money line today at plus 114. Don't forget about that Diamondbacks F5 money line at plus 116. I think that is also going to be a good cash for us. We'll justify all this stuff on the Payoff Pitch live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, with myself and the Hockey Squirrel. Question to you guys, what are you doing with Jordan Lyles today? He's had 14 games this season, and the Royals haven't won any of them. So are you doing a Jordan Lyles parlay of winning pitcher no? Are you taking Jordan Lyles over 2.5 earned runs? Like, what are we doing here? Don't be scared that it's the Detroit Tigers. Obviously, Jordan Lyles has been bad all season long, but the Tigers right now are really, really stinking good versus right-handed pitching. Top 10 right now versus right-handed pitching. And they get Jordan Lyles, who obviously has struggled in all 14 games so far this season. Hasn't put the Royals in any chance to win those games. Again, they're 0-14 in his 14 starts. What are you guys doing with Jordan Lyles? Find out on the Payoff Pitch if I'm able to work him into a play. Again, that'll be live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And as long as you're talking about dog shit pitchers on this great day, you got to throw in Austin Gomber, right? Austin Gomber. Although he's 4-6, he's not Jordan Lyles-esque bad, but boy, Austin Gomber has certainly been bad in his own right. He's going up against the Cincinnati Reds, who he already faced earlier on this season in Coors Field. This one's at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. I can't imagine it's going to fare a lot better. The one thing about Austin Gomber that does have in his favor today is the Reds right now are really struggling versus left-handers. So it'll be interesting to see what wins in that matchup. Will it be hitter familiarity because they've already seen Gomber? They've had a little success against Gomber. Or will the recent struggles of the Reds up against left-handed pitching win out, and maybe Austin Gomber can go out there and throw? I mean, it's so funny with Gomber. His last start against Boston, I don't know if you guys saw, but his out prop was at 14.5. Like, hell, he can't even be the winning pitcher if, that bet were to hit, because you have to go 5 innings at least to be the winning pitcher. So let's see with Austin Gomber, though. We'll see with him getting a struggling Reds team versus left-handers. I'll be curious to see how that one plays out. So, yeah, I think it's a good MLB slate, and I certainly, look forward to breaking it down. What are you doing with them, though? What are you doing with them, the gent? It's all juicy as hell, obviously. Anything you take of fading in this bum, it's all juicy as shit, right? You don't lose all 14 of your games and, get good odds. I wish they would actually bump the number up and, then give it to me at plus money. Then it's like, okay, I can take a stab. But when it's like over 2.5 earned runs at like minus 170, I can't do all that much with that right there, right? Tigers F5 team total. That's minus 145. Let me get a current look at that. I'm not paying that, but I am actually curious of that because I've been watching that line. I can't imagine it's moved in our favor. Wow, it has moved in our favor. This morning when I was doing my research, it was minus 145. Now it's minus 135. People backing Jordan Lyles? That price is minus 135? What's DraftKings doing there? Sucking you in? That's an interesting line movement right there. It goes from minus 145 to minus 135 for a pitcher who hadn't won a damn game all season. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one right there. That one's quite an interesting one. So, all right, let's there's left-handed pitching, and then there's Gomber. Yeah, that's actually well said. That's actually well said. Just to let you know, though, DeGent, just the Reds struggles, man. They're only hitting 183 in the last 10 days with left-handed. Weighting runs created is at 78. But then you got to add in the Gomber factor, right? But we all know these guys are major leaguers, right? He's 4-6 on the season. So he's 4 games. He's at least gone at least 5 innings pitch and put his team in a chance to win the game. And actually, not only a chance to win the game, he won this matchup against Graham Ashcraft when it was in Colorado. That was one of his wins, or the team wins. I don't know if it was his win, but the team won that game. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, fellas, let me go find ourselves a hockey squirrel. Then let's talk about this MLB slate again, live at 11 a.m. Eastern time, so only about 5 or so minutes away. Come on back, or hang tight. Obviously, the next time we'll be with you will be myself and the hockey squirrel. So see you guys in a handful of minutes. Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome on to today's episode here of the Payoff Pitch, where we're live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time with myself and Hockey Squirrel, previewing today's MLB slate powered by Bet Openly. Hop on over to there where you win more and lose less with Bet Openly. Squirrel, it's been a while. Coming off a little mini break here. How you been doing, man?
Not too bad. Had one horrific losing day, like lost a lot, like really, really bad. And then the last 3 days have been wins, but all pretty much about a unit per day. So small wins, progressively making small wins,
Love it.
making it back. Nothing I haven't been through before. But other than that, yeah, I think today there's some kind of weird spots, like things where I feel like it's mispriced on purpose for reasons that I'm not unaware of or something, and it's kind of making me tweak. So
Okay, cool. We'll look forward to hearing those thoughts and seeing what you think right there. Obviously, I wasn't able to bet while I was in Wisconsin. I missed out on the gym that is Zach Greinke yesterday. He, of course, stays under 1.5 walks, and he stays under 15.5 outs. Those books haven't really been giving us his outs props too often, but boy, if I was in town, I would have absolutely hammered that one right there. We know the guy doesn't go past 5 innings. He gets pulled. Even that one outing where he had only thrown 44 pitches, hadn't given up a run through 5 innings. They still pulled him. So hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of some of the things we talk about here on a regular basis, even though we weren't, or I at least wasn't officially giving out plays yesterday. So look forward to getting back into the saddle today, though, talking shop with you guys and breaking down today's MLB slate. So let's just get right to it. Let's go to a second inning around the bases where we'll take a couple games and break them down. Squirrel, what you want to kick it off with?
the best projected over the day. It's very simple, very straightforward, and especially if you're a fan of baseball, should just be something that you understand off the top. Rockies and Reds over 10. Pay a little bit of juice, minus 120. It's going to 10.5. You have Austin Gomber, which is a name that you would expect runs from to give up. Brandon Williamson, another name you'd expect runs given up by. Great American Ballpark is where it's being played, so great ballpark for overs in terms of park factors. Stars align on that one, I would have to think, for over 10, minus 120.
I mean, bad bullpen, at least certainly in the Rockies' perspective. Two starting pitchers that you figure both of them are going to give up 3 to 4 runs, you would imagine, at least. So kind of a no-brainer play, and that one feels like you just live with the result, a good betting spot. So, yeah, I certainly like that over as well. What about there in Red Sox taking on the Twins today? I think the Red Sox can get it done today through the first 5 innings. So I'll take a stab at that first 5 money line, obviously with the option of tie at plus 114. You get a massive hitting advantage here. We talk about this Twins team and how they continue to struggle, and that's what they're doing versus left-handed pitching. They're only hitting 202 versus left-handed pitching. Their weighted runs created is only 61. They still strike out a ton at 30.9%. So if you look at James Paxton, you figure he can have a nice outing against a Twins team that is absolutely struggling. And then the Red Sox. I mean, you saw what they did yesterday in the doubleheader against the Yankees. It's because they have a really good offense versus right-handers. They're hitting 292. Their weighted runs created is 123. They're slugging 465. And they don't strike out at 20.1%. So you know from an offensive standpoint, you're going to go ahead and get the advantage. And then from a starting pitching advantage, I bet most people gravitate towards the name of Pablo Lopez. But here's James Paxton sitting there with a better opponent's batting average, a better K per 9, a better ERA, and a better home run per 9. Their whips are basically the same at 1.11 and 1.16. So Paxton has the advantages on the other major pitching category. So yeah, I'll take the better pitcher. I'll take by far the better offense and hope that they can be leading through the first 5 innings. At plus money, that's an absolute no-brainer bet. What's another game for you, Squirrel?
I'm going to stick with the same game. I had it written down, but from a little bit different direction. Just being a Twins fan going to a few of these games here, I'll tell you whatever's coming out of the bullpen in the later innings, 5 innings or after, is pretty terrible. You have Giovanni Moran, who's been sucking. You have Pagan, has not been good. Anything that comes out, basically, the 2 games that I went to, in the last week or 2 here, it just so happened that Sonny Gray was the pitcher on both games, and he's okay for about 60 to 70 pitches, and he falls apart. And then you bring out Moran and you bring out Pagan and whoever's closing there, that Jorge Lopez. It's all been terrible. So unless it's Pablo Lopez keeping it low scoring, which, if you think the Red Sox can get to him, I took a line. This is the only line available I can find at 7.5. I went over 7.5, paid minus 118. And remember, I was telling you about Bookmaker. bookmaker.eu. Normally, I would tell you to go look for this on a peer-to-peer site like Bet Openly, where you can create your own line if you don't find it there off the bat anyway. People expecting a low-scoring game, you probably find a lot of people wanting the under on that. Can't even find it at Bet Openly. I went and looked, and it's still 8 or a ton of juice at 7.5 if you set your own line there. So I would recommend Bookmaker for that one. At the current line, so if it's 8 minus 110, the 7.5 should be minus 129. That would be the alternate derivative line. So I got minus 118. I was happy with that. So I went over 7.5, and that's good if you think that the Red Sox have the capability to tag the Twins a bit there. Full game, I think there was a 10-cent differential between my line and the book. I think mine was about 10 cents higher for the Twins, in favor of the Twins. So expecting both teams to get runs there, I would certainly hope 8 is achievable.
Yeah, I like everything you said about that bullpen. You didn't mention Duran, which is the one name that you obviously didn't mention because he's lights out. If the Twins are leading,
right, you wouldn't mention him.
Right. If they don't have the lead, then you're right. That bullpen gets absolutely hit. You mentioned Jorge Lopez. I think he actually got put on the injury list due to some mental health issues. And the bullpen's been struggling outside of Duran. So I think that game has a chance to go over based on what I think the Red Sox can do. So I like that pick right there, Squirrel. You know what? I think there's another team that can kind of replicate the same success that the Red Sox will be able to do, through the first 5 innings. And I'm going to go right to the Diamondbacks, taking on the Brewers here. I like the Diamondbacks first 5 money line at plus 116. You get a repeat pitching matchup from earlier this season with Corbin Burns going against Merrill Kelly. Neither of those starters gave up a run through the first 5 innings. The runs didn't start coming until the 7th inning. Both of these guys were absolutely dominant. And actually, Kelly was a touch better than Burns. If you want to look at the advanced stats, he only gave up 1 hit. Burns gave up 3 hits. Burns with more Ks. But Merrill Kelly does what he does. Keeps the ball low and gets some ground bases. And then if you look at offenses-wise, coming into this game, again, you're going to get the better offense here in the Diamondbacks. They hit 292 versus right-handers. Brewers hit 196. They slugged 532. The Brewers only slugged 325. Weighted runs created is 133 against 70. And they strike out less at 20.5%, where the Brewers are striking out at 28.2%. So I got no problem backing Merrill Kelly here. I'll gladly, what I assume will be a fade of the public as they gravitate towards the Corbin Burns name and the Brewers. So it's just an offense that's been struggling all season long. I was going to do their FI team total under 2.5. But like we say, if you think you got a good angle, the books are ahead of you, and they didn't give you 2.5. They gave you 1.5. Should be a low-scoring game, but I like the Diamondbacks in this through the first 5 innings. So I'll take that money line at plus 116. All right, let's shut up and pitch and talk some pitching props, Squirrel.
Yeah, today is a day where I ran all the projections. I've looked at all of them. I haven't bet anything on my, for player props, but it's a day where the projections are going completely in opposite direction of what makes sense for the opponent. Like taking James Paxton to go under on his strikeouts wouldn't really make sense, seeing as Minnesota is like the top strikeout rate team right now at like 30%. So then it is a question of, is getting 7 strikeouts too much for James Paxton? Probably not. Maybe not. Who knows? But like if the projection is 5.5 or roughly, and you would say to go under, do you trust the projection more, or do you trust basically the trend of the teams and the strikeout rates, things like that? And it's like that all the way down the board with these pitchers. It's a guy you would expect to get hit, and then the strikeout projection is over, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you could try like Austin Gomber under 4.5 Ks. You expect him to get crushed by the Reds or something like that. We'll go with that. That's I have him projected at 3.5, and the line's at 4.5. BetMGM would be your best line at minus 125. The rest of the market looks like minus 150 or higher. So if you have access to BetMGM, we'll roll with Austin Gomber under 4.5 minus 125.
I'm going to circle back to your James Paxton. We've talked about him recently when he was going up against the Rockies. I like his over. I like over 6.5 Ks. I will take a stab at it at minus 124. Remember, he's gone over in 4 of his 6 starts, including the Guardians, which is worth mentioning because we know the Guardians don't strike out. In fact, they strike out at 15.1%. They weren't that low when they faced them a few weeks back. but they're usually just always around 20 or certainly below 20. 15.1 right now is really incredible. And the Twins, as I mentioned earlier, they're at 30.9%. They're bringing along with it a terrible batting average at 202. If you also wanted to do over 17.5 outs, I think he's going to go 6 strong in this game. And in the process, he's going to go over 6.5 K. So I will do James Paxton in this matchup. I'm also going to look at Jack Flaherty there of the Cardinals, go under 4.5 Ks at even money. The Washington Nationals, that's another team we've talked about. Great team in terms of not striking out. The Nationals in the month of June versus right-handers, they have only allowed one pitcher to go over 4.5 Ks. Only one right-hander in the month of June that's been a starter has gone over 4.5 Ks. That was actually Zach Davies with 8. But you've got guys like Alcantara stayed under this name. Christian Javier there of the Astros stayed under. What about Hunter Brown of the Astros? Great, phenomenal breaking ball. He stayed under. What about Bryce Elder stayed under? And what about Zach Wheeler, good power pitcher of the Phillies? He also stayed under. I expect the Nationals to keep Jack Flaherty under this number of under 4.5 Ks. So I'll roll with him. And then I'll also roll with Jose Berrios of the Toronto Blue Jays to stay under 5.5 hits allowed. Just like the Nationals are doing good at keeping teams from staying under their strikeouts. Boy, the Marlins versus right-handed pitchers have stayed under this number in 8 of 12 games, which I really feel like it should be like 8 of 11, because one of those that missed was against Jordan Lyles, and like who the hell would ever take an under with Jordan Lyles? Like that would just what do they got that? They got that trend on TikTok. You got the dumb ways to die. Yeah, you want to take it over with Jordan Lyles? That's a dumb way to die. So I feel like it should really just be 8 of 11. But either way, Berrios in his own right, he stayed under this number in 9 of his 14 starts, including 5 straight unders of under 5.5 hits allowed. And the Marlins are hitting 212 right now versus right-handers. That's best for 27th worst in the major league. So I'll take Berrios under 5.5 hits allowed, plus 120. With these hit rates that the Marlins are doing in the month of June, his own hit rate, including 5 straight, I can't give me that at plus 120. So I'll gladly take that one. So, all right, 4th inning long shots. Like to find some dogs today on the board. What do you got?
Yeah, I got a couple. I got 2 of them. One was a line that I grabbed just, I think, as simply ran too far. I got to make sure who the opponent was again. I took the Miami Marlins on the money line, but at a pretty massive plus 147 is what I got. Looks like it receded just a little bit. Best I could do is plus 143. Otherwise, I see a lot of plus 135s. It's against the Blue Jays. My projection graded out to minus 125 for the Blue Jays. So for whatever reason, I think there's a lot of overvaluing there. But I ended up taking the Marlins there at 147. I don't think it probably touches that again. The other game I had was a coin flip projection on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I was able to achieve plus 120. And I'm always happy to take plus 120 on a coin flip whenever the opportunity is presented there. You get Osvaldo Bido again. And I bet on him the last time, I believe he was pitching, or maybe his debut or something like that. But he got it done for me as far as I remember. So I will go ahead and back that again on a coin flip projection at plus 120.
Yeah, I remember you backing him on his MLB debut. He went not strong in terms of length, but 4 innings pitched, 1 run against the Cubs. So he was fairly good. He did his job, that's for sure. I got a couple dogs that I like. I like the Nationals today taking on the Cardinals. Really like the hitting advantages that you're getting. And also really like the bullpen advantages that you're going to get. Gray versus Flaherty. Well, I'm already expecting Flaherty to not strike out a lot. I bet the Nationals tag him for a few runs as well. So give me the better offense. Give me the better bullpen. I think the Nationals can knock off the Cardinals. I also think the Red Sox will be a good dog today up against the Minnesota Twins. Again, as long as the Twins aren't winning late and you can avoid Duran, you can get to that Twins bullpen. And again, we've got just a super massive hitting advantage through the Red Sox in terms of taking on this Twins team today. So I really like them today. There's another one. They're not plus money, but they are a dog in terms of the odds. How can you not like the Giants today taking on the Padres? Better offense, better bullpen. You're going to get a bullpen day today from the Giants, which is perfectly fine with me because that bullpen has been absolutely lights out. So I think the Giants, they're not at plus money. They're at minus 105. So, but I do like the Giants today. So Cardinals and Red Sox.
I'm able to get them at plus money, and this is where I was confused is I projected them minus 115 on the money line. So, if I can get plus money, I think that's pretty decent.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can get plus money on the Giants for sure. I mean, you're getting advantages across.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw minus 105 was the best price, but maybe that's moved since a couple hours ago when I was looking. So
Yeah,
if you can
I
get
don't
them,
use retail books, so that's why I mean I'm looking at offshore stuff that's not like your normal FanDuel DraftKings stuff. So
actually, I'm looking right now. FanDuel plus 104.
yeah, there you go.
Give it to me.
Cool.
Give it to me. Got no problem with that at all. All right, fifth inning, keep swinging. Let's see if we can give these guys some hitting props today. What do you have?
Not too terribly much. Guy that always jumps to the top of my list, and I think I'm starting to realize why is because every time I go to the Twins game, uh, dude only like, well, I don't know. Does the player prop count if the guy plays in the game but doesn't like isn't in the starting lineup? Because I wouldn't think it would.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because they keep intervening or like they keep popping like Max Kepler in there in like the seventh, eighth, and ninth inning only for some weird reason. But he keeps popping up in the top of my list, and I think that's why is because he's just not playing full games and stuff. So there's something more going on with that. I'm not entirely sure. You said that you liked the Diamondbacks, and I have some more stuff to talk about with that, but that'll be in a bit later inning here. One guy that came up for me was Christian Walker, was it? For total bases over 1.5. Let me see. Here he is. Yeah, this is another weird because some books have 1.5 and some only have half a base, I guess. So I don't know. That might be just take him to get a hit and do your typical like two guys to get a hit or whatever parlay type thing. But Christian Walker looks decent.
Yeah, I like him obviously today as well. So I think you could also find the Pirates today. Remember, we love pitching matchups that are repeat performances. Well, yeah, this Cubs-Pirates one that Squirrel mentioned just happened a week ago. Last week here in Chicago, now we're in Pittsburgh. But overall, just because of the familiarity of division opponents, we get a lot of familiarity here. Reynolds hits 381 against Smiley. Santana hits 348. Andrew McCutchen hits 278, but 3 of his 5 hits are for home runs. I think if you're looking for a guy to hit a home run, it could be Andrew McCutchen. It doesn't stop there, though. Hayes hits 308 off of him, and Connor Joe hits 600 off of Drew Smiley. So I really like the Pirates today. I think they're going to have a lot of success today up against Drew Smiley. And then Brandon Crawford, they're the San Francisco Giants. He's 7 for 12 up against, what's his face there, Michael Wacha with 4 doubles and a triple. So I think he's a good one for an over 1.5 total bases is Brandon Crawford. All right, 6th inning, it's a steal. What you got there, Squirrel?
I've been playing back and forth with this one because I haven't really bet it. It just looks far too fishy, and it's really only because my projection is kind of screwing me up, and I don't know exactly why I got such a heavy projection for the Milwaukee Brewers, but I don't think that minus 110 is the correct price. I have them as a much larger favorite, closer to minus 150 than minus 110. So I don't know. I mean, I recognize that it looks weird, and the line opened minus 125 and has fallen back to minus 110. So I'm not super interested in going against the market's opinion of that. I assume that the market is more correct than the model. So I have not bet into it. However, I mean, at any price, like there has to be a buyback at some point, and I don't know what the correct price is necessarily for the Brewers or why. I know you expanded a little bit, and you're on the Arizona Diamondbacks in the first 5. I guess, how do you see the game playing out, or why would you think that Arizona would be, basically getting bought so heavy today?
And the reason I didn't have them as my dog is because the Brewers' bullpen is top 5, where the Diamondbacks' bullpen is bottom 10. So I don't want to get into any late-game craziness. I just want the offensive advantages, and I think the 2 starting pitchers are equal. But I do expect if and when this game becomes a bullpen game, the Brewers have the advantages, and I think the Brewers do pull it out. So at minus 116, minus 115, it's probably a great price for a nice low-scoring game in which the Brewers win, 4-2. Something like that. Maybe it's 2-1 Diamondbacks after 5, and then they're able to pull it out again with their great bullpen advantages. So That's why I couldn't go full game money line. Just really scared of this Diamondbacks bullpen right now. I don't want them to ruin a good plus money cash for me.
I think, I do think it's a steal at a lower price of minus 110, or 115, whatever you can grab there. But I certainly think it's a little bit too low.
Those offensive numbers, though, like I said, below the Mendoza line, can't hit shit at 325 slugging. That's
and then that's when they surprise you, and it's like 10-2.
Right, 10-2, right?
Just after you get done saying all that stuff, you just go like, oh, they can't hit anything, they're terrible,
it's
and then
baseball.
Wham. Yeah.
That's how it is. Hey, what about where I give out my NRFI of the day here in the 6th inning? Not a great day for NRFIs. Be careful if you're trying to dip your toes in some NRFIs. How about banking on some teams that can get it done in the 1st inning instead? How about the Reds going up against Austin Gomber, where all he does is get lit up right from the beginning? 350 opponents batting average and a 1.86 whip. 12 runs in 14 starts is what he's allowed. I think the Reds get it done early and often. I also think the Tigers against Jordan Lyles, 322 opponents batting average, a 1.71 whip, and he's also given up 12 runs in the first 14 innings. And don't forget about Pablo Lopez there, the Minnesota Twins. He just struggles in the first inning, 333 opponents batting average, a 1.57 whip, and he's given up 10 runs in the first 14 innings. I know people like to fade teams coming off Sunday Night Baseball, and especially with the Red Sox playing a doubleheader, but it doesn't worry me with professional athletes. So the Red Sox will come out. I got no issues with the Red Sox today, so I think they'll get it done. So Reds, Tigers, Red Sox, look for them to all score in the first inning. Maybe sprinkle the parlay. I think it could come through for you guys. All right, 7th inning coming to a stretch. Best bet today on the board today, Squirrel. What is it?
It's got to be the easiest over of the day, I think, is just going to be the Rockies and Reds. I just feel that there's runs galore there. It all makes sense, from the pitching, from the ballpark, everything, the bullpens. It's just, it's all there.
Okay, it certainly makes sense. My best bet today is one I already talked about. It's James Paxton. That guy's been coming through so far this season. 4 of his 6 starts, again, against the Guardians. Twins can't hit. They strike out a ton. For James Paxton to go over 6.5 Ks. All right, double play. We'd like to give out a parlay of the day. What parlay do you want to give out?
Well, I certainly feel like it is a day for the dogs. I definitely don't think that. Sorry, I'm going to grab the Giants. I am doing it. They're becoming a favorite now.
They're becoming a favorite now? Yeah, I'm telling you, they should not be a dog. You got to be kidding me.
Oh
yeah, it's completely flipped. Oh man, yeah, completely flipped. Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just
who's watching the show and throwing all the cash down on the Giants? I love it.
Cool. So yeah, I'm on the Giants there officially. Double play. I think it's a day for the dogs, though, man. I don't think that there's a huge selection of heavy favorites. Not today. Not ones that are really truly expected to win. I don't think so. I'm going to take my best bet and go with the Rockies and Reds over, so you can root for some runs there. And I don't know, help me out, I guess, with what do you think? Maybe I'm going to say the Brewers money line, man. I don't know why I can't get off of it. I'll say that Rockies and Reds over and the Brewers money line, and that should give you some pretty good odds and some games to root for some good stuff. I don't know what the odds would be if you parlay both of those, but that's what I guess I'd probably do.
I like it.
Just go do it. Just go do it.
All right, for my parlay of the day, Squirrel, I feel like anytime Jordan Lyles is on the mound, you just got to work in a way to fade Jordan Lyles, right? We all know the story. 14 starts. The team has lost all 14 games. He hasn't picked up 14 L's himself, but the team has not won a damn start in which he was. So I like the Tigers team total, over 3.5. I certainly think they can get it done. A team that has got the 8th best batting average right now versus right-handers at 282, weighted runs created at 127, slugging 498, and they don't strike out at 21.3%. So expect them to get to Lyles, and then we know the story with this Royals bullpen. They're certainly capable of giving up a few runs in their own right. So give me that Tigers team total over 3.5, then the Pirates team total over 2.5. That comes in at even money over at Caesars. Look, the Pirates just went up against Drew Smyly, got 5 runs off of him. Cubs bullpen right now is bottom 10 in the league. I think the runs should come early and often up against Drew Smyly. Mentioned in 5th inning, keep swinging some of those great batting averages, career batting averages off of Drew Smyly. Cubs, 3+ runs. Tigers, 4+ runs. Even money. Let's toss these bets up on the screen. and then let's get to them all in rapid fire. See the comments there talking about winning pitcher no parlays. I'm starting to come around. I'm not going to show it here in the bet slip just because I haven't bet it, but I think one, when I get off this show, maybe Austin Gomber no, Jordan Lyles no, then Beto there, the Pirates. Maybe you can work him in and get it all the way up to plus 133. I like it. But that is what I'm going to roll with as of right now. There it is. We got 3 pitching props, a couple money F5 money lines, and a parlay for you. All right, let's get to rapid fire here.
Mm-hmm.
Jump on in here. And you got Giants money line. You've got the over and Red Sox, Twins. Those 2 plays officially right now? And Brewers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I got so far. I have the Marlins money line. That's plus 147. I have that Red Sox and Twins, but remember that it was over 7.5. I paid minus 117. That was at Bookmaker. I got the Pirates money line, and then the Rockies and Reds over. Taking the Brewers money line there at minus 110, and the San Francisco Giants at any plus money you can find.
I agree with you. You said earlier this is a day of the dogs. I feel like this is a day you take some stabs and you probably hit, like, let's say 4 out of 1 or 4 out of 5. But you
4 out of 1.
Really well. Yeah, I know 4 out of 1.
Hell yeah!
Right? That's how you turn a profit. All right, Cardinals and Nationals with an over-under of 9.5. Cardinals minus 150, Nationals plus 130. Told you guys these are my dog of the day, so I certainly like them to go ahead and get it done. The over-unders in Cardinals games are just too inconsistent for my liking because the Cardinals offense has been too inconsistent. So just stick with the money line. Take the Nationals on the money line as a dog.
Yeah, I can understand the Nationals. I would want a little bit more out of them in terms of price. I'm not sure where they opened compared to where they are now. Pretty much about the same. Plus 130, plus 125 price. I would like them a lot more closer to plus 150 is roughly where I have the Cards being. So 9.75 for a projection.
Blue Jays and Marlins over under of 8.5. Blue Jays minus 155. Marlins plus 135. You like them today up against these Blue Jays? Think they can get it done? I think
Marlins,
the Blue Jays
yes.
on the run line.
Yeah, I have the Marlins. I got a good price though. Price you can't get anymore at plus 147. So.
Plus, you got it at plus 1 what?
47.
Okay. All right. And I'll obviously, unfortunately, be on the other side of that one. Royals and Tigers over under of 9. Royals plus 120. Tigers minus 140. Reese Olson up against Jordan Lyles. Can't wait to see all the Jordan Lyles fades today across social media. All the different ways people are working in on fading this bum.
I think it's really right in there. I have no room for value anywhere. I have the total 8.75. It's at 9, and Tigers minus 140. That's exactly where it's at.
I'm going over 9. Give me over 9.
Cool.
Cubs and Pirates over under of 9. Cubs minus 135. Pirates plus 115. I'll take the over. Of course, in a repeat pitching matchup just from last week, I'll take the over 9 in this one. But Bido is not going to be as effective. If he was effective and he had good stuff, he probably would have already been in the majors by now. So expect the Cubs to make the right adjustments, and they're going to hit him pretty well. So, yeah, I'll take the over 9 here.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I have it at 10. I just like my plus 120 on a coin flip there. And, as I said, the Beto did it for me before. And I'll back him again there on a coin flip game.
Really good bullpen advantages. That Cubs bullpen is still struggling, so like that right there. Rockies and Reds with an over-under of 10. Rockies plus 140. Reds minus 165. Reds are one of these hot teams in baseball to go along with the Athletics. I go Reds run line. Reds run line. Big bullpen advantage here. Big one.
Do you think at all that there's a slight overvaluing of the Reds due to them being hot? I have a minus 140, and the book's got them like freaking minus 180, 170.
I mean, it's because they're hot, and Gomber barely goes 5 innings, so everybody expects Gomber to give up. I mean, he's got one of the worst ERAs, like 7.29. It's terrible.
Yeah, if I had to pick a money line due to the value, I would take the Rockies, but also only because I expect so many damn runs, and that leads to
A chance.
Yeah, exactly. So I love the over. I'm taking the over. If I had to pick a money line, I'm on the Rockies just purely out of value, not because I really think they're going to win.
Yeah, like it. All right, let's talk about these Red Sox and the Twins with an over-under of 8, where you obviously already gave out the over of 7.5, so you look good right there. Red Sox plus 125, Twins minus 145.
I have the Twins at minus 144. I mean, not that I bet it, but that's where I projected it. So other than the over, that's the only play I've got there.
Plus 125. Obviously, I'm going to stick with one of the dogs I like today, so I'll stick with that. Diamondbacks and Brewers, over-under of 7.5, minus 105 for the Diamondbacks, minus 115 for the Brewers. Tough game to figure out. Can these two pitchers replicate this success they had back in April? Go a long ways, obviously, towards this over-under hitting.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I do a lot of work and pulling in all the stats and all the projections and all this kind of stuff and pit every batter against every, pitcher and all the bullpens and the ballpark factors and all this stuff. So I have to trust my projections when I get something close to minus 150 and I see minus 110. I backed the Brewers today, despite, seeing the weird line and everything too. I'm hoping that it's just added value. I'm hoping it's just a gift that I got it at a low price. I understand the market weirdness though, and I generally tend to trust the market. Going into that, kind of expecting to lose and saying tonight, I knew I probably shouldn't have done that, but I also don't want to pass up the chance to be like, shit, I could have gotten that for a great price, and my model predicted it correctly. And, it's just one of those deals where, as you say, live with the result. I'm okay with it at minus 110 if I lose a unit on it, trying to see, what would have been.
I'm going to do Diamondbacks run line of plus 1.5 here. I think Kelly will keep it close. Their batting advantages, while they don't have the bullpen advantages, the batters should keep it close. So I'll take Diamondbacks plus 1.5 in this one. Parlay piece at about minus 200. Mets and Astros over-under of 7.5. Mets at even money. Astros at minus 120. Talked about this time last time, Max Scherzer got involved in a start with the New York Yankees. That line was at 7.5. I said take the over. The over cashed easily. I'll go back to the over with Max Scherzer. Not scared about him. And I'll also take the Astros at minus 120.
I'm going to go against you on the Astros. I have the Mets favored slightly at minus 117, and it's another even coin flip money line type game, just like the Giants, where I had the Giants favored. I got slight plus money. I think plus 103 I just sent out. I'm seeing I can get plus 101 on the Mets. So I'll take the Mets money line in this one.
To me, if you're only going to play one, I would take the over, because the money line feels like a coin flip, where you get two struggling bullpens right now, so we're expecting runs late if you don't get them early. I like the over 7.5 a little bit more than either of these teams winning.
Yeah, if it's only at 7.5, I have 8.5 as a projection, so
good.
Over looks fine.
Yep. Padres and Giants with an over-under of 8.5. Padres minus 120. Giants at even money. Again, I'll take the Giants.
Yep, and I already did.
Okay, a couple questions here that rolled through. We've got Michael. What's up there, Michael? Was the Twins money line minus 140? Let me see. I got minus 145, but that doesn't mean another book doesn't have minus 120. But he's also
my projection was minus 144 as well. That's right there. Okay,
sorry, my computer got unplugged and I was about to lose all my power here. So let's get this thing charging back up. Charge it up, fellas. All right. Another question here. Adrian says he's going to get on Bet Openly today. How does it work? I assume it's just like create an account like any other book, but is there anything that's going to trip him up other than just create an account?
Other than the state that he's in, there's an FAQ section on there that will talk about what state you're in. Okay. You can use it if, let's see. Talking about the DFS player props now. Yeah, I would read through the FAQ section, though, and make sure that you're in a state that is allowed. I don't think there are too many of them, as long as you're not in, like, I think New Jersey, Nevada, Hawaii, something like that. But, yes, that's great. And
then the Jen here is working in the same game part. And then let us know how that goes, Adrian, by the way. Once you get on over there, do let us know if you had any issues or if it's generally straightforward. He's in California. I do remember that. I think he'll have it easy. I think they're good in California, if I recall. I don't think you'll have any issues. DeGent's working the same game parlay. I know you can't make that same game parlay over on DraftKings because they don't put that winning pitcher in a thing. I wonder, would you make that thing over on Caesars? Where the hell did you make that thing there, DeGent? Certainly looks good. Gomber not be the winning pitcher and then tease that over down a little bit, down to 8.5. Trying to figure out where the hell you made that. That looks pretty tasty. I like it. I can't even find it. Can't even find it. All right. I'll just get off that. Mark, what's going on, man? Tigers F5 over 2.5. Do you like that? You know what? It was at minus 145, Mark, when I was doing my research. Let's get a look now because I saw recently it fell down to minus 135. Oh, okay. Now it's back to minus 145. I just don't feel like paying that. I would almost just go to the full game team total, which you can get over on FanDuel at minus 112 for over 4.5 because the Royals bullpen struggles, hell, just as much as Jordan Lyles struggles. So I'd hate for you to get burned in the situation where the runs come in the 6th inning, which we've seen a ton with F5 team totals. That's when you start getting that third time through the lineup, and the 6th inning has a lot of runs in the 6th inning. So I don't hate it, Mark. But I think I would probably just go more to the full game team total because I probably want a piece of that Royals bullpen as well. Bet 365. Got it. All right. Anything else, Squirrel, on today's slate? I'll tell you, only maybe 8 or so games.
I just managed to snag the fucking Colorado Rockies at plus 160. So I'm happy with that.
Plus 160 is down to plus 140. Wow.
I know, but that's what I'm telling you. No, at Bookmaker right now, it's plus 160 if you wanted it.
That's going to be a funny game because you talk about two teams that struggle versus left-handers. Cincinnati's hitting 183, and Colorado's hitting 202. Both of their weighted runs created are terrible. Both of their sluggings are terrible. I'm really fascinated about this game, and that's ultimately why I haven't found a way into this game, because while you do have pitchers that struggle, it's major leaguers. And, there's a reason Gomber's got 4 wins on the season. Bag on him all you want. The guy's a major league pitcher, and if you run into a team that's only hitting 183 versus left-handers, perhaps this is the spot where the dude could be successful today. So I'm just a little too nervous for that. Just a touch nervous. But doesn't mean I don't have some personal money on his ass to get rocked. All right, fellas. I guess that'll be it for today. All right. Check us out on Twitter. Maybe we'll go ahead and add some plays to it. Remember, jump on over to hockeysquirrel.com. Sign up for the nightly newsletter. What was
that nightly newsletter, man. 2 nights ago, I sent out 4 games, and they went 3-1 in the newsletter. So all the people that have signed up so far went 3-1 there. Have some new interested people in Hockey Squirrel. A lot of good feedback about the real-time lines, the way that things come out the second I find them and bet them, they get shot out immediately in that Discord. So you're not sitting around waiting for emails. It sends it directly to your cell phone or your computer, whatever your device of choice is. And, great community chat, and you can learn and ask questions and all that kind of good stuff. So, if you don't want to make the investment yet for the $100 a month and take the plunge to join the Discord, I would really highly recommend joining and signing up for that newsletter. Filling out the survey that you get in the welcome email, and I can help you figure out some solutions to any sports betting challenges that you have for free there. So check out that newsletter, and I'll be sending you some overnight lines.
Love it there, Squirrel. All right. Hey, good luck today with your bets. Hopefully you can have a good one. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Felt good to be back in here with you guys. We'll do it again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, previewing Tuesday's MLB slate. Good luck, everyone. Let's cash. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you, buddy.